Alright, g'day. For those who don't know me, my name's Cameron Rue. I'm a guitarist here in Nashville. Play on Broadway, I play on artist gigs, I do sessions, I do studio work, I do writes, I teach, I do a bit of everything. I build guitars, I have my own guitar company. And what I didn't do for a long time was run direct or use in-ear monitors. I only used amps. I would rather have taken, those $50 Gorilla trash amps than a really good sounding in-ear direct rig for the longest time. And I don't know why that is. When I first got to town, I had a Helix and I was happy to use it with ears, and then something happened where I was just like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. But recently, over the last couple of years, that has changed. I got a quad Cortex and then sold that, and then they gave me another one and I really dug it, but it kept crashing. Unfortunately, it was an early revision. I think they've fixed the hardware now. And then I floated around. I used the HX Stomp for a long time. Then I got an Axe FX. Things began to change. At first, it was like, yeah, it's all right. It does the thing. And then I kind of figured it out and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Now, I figured it out because of a friend of mine, Dane Kinzer. He plays for Kane Brown. He just did his 5-year anniversary with Kane. So Dane, if you watch this, congratulations. I love and miss you, mate. We haven't talked in a good while. Dane showed me how to make it feel good. And that was what really mattered. Does it feel good? Because I find when it feels good, you're going to sound like yourself. It's this morning I had coffee with my friend, Mr. Strasser, Hunter Strasser. He's an unreal guitarist. He went to UNT and he talks about, to me this morning, about seeing Wayne Krantz do a clinic. And I have the Roland Jazz Cube or whatever, just a rubbish amp. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't get it to sound like a wet sock. It was so rubbish. But Wayne comes up, sounds amazing. Thing is, it's still here. Once I got the Axe FX cooking, things made sense, right? But recently, I've been doing the stereo Tonex thing, and that's where the feel and getting it good has been really good. License plate in front of me just says, shh, stop, 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 I don't like it. That's what we had to say when we were kids in school. If someone was doing something you didn't like, teacher goes, if they're being mean, say stop, I don't like it. And we used to she'd be like, all right, you got homework for tomorrow. We'd be like, stop, I don't like it. It's very silly, but that's who I am, right? Anyway, the thing is, the stereo Tonex feels really good. Now, I'm using other people's captures, and it's phenomenal, and I'm very happy. But it's really starting to make me think, right? I'm lucky enough that I own a real Plexi and a real 64 Deluxe Reverb. Hell, I own a 65 Deluxe Reverb as well, both old, both pre-CBS. Vibrolux, Bassman, Bandmaster, 62 AC30, all this kind of stuff, right? Ironically, my favorite setup is my PV Classic 50 head through my Mesa 112 with an original EVM 12 element. That's a whole other thing. But the thing is, if I brought my favorite rig downtown, it's a huge pedal board, PV Classic 50 head, and it's the 112. And those EV speakers are not light, and that Mesa cab is not light. Whereas, I can't grab it from here. My current setup is a Pedal Train Nano Plus, and I'm actually trying to get it down to a Pedal Train Nano. If I can raise the feet enough, I can fit a Tonex underneath. Maybe if I get one of those mono boards, I think they have a little more clearance. I could fit 2. And I'm just starting to think, like, as a guy who will often do 3-4 gigs in a day, being able to just pack up, plug in, go to town is really nice. I plug in 1 cable, 2 cables. I plug in my instrument cable and an IEC cable, and I'm playing. Like, that's crazy to me, right? That's amazing. It's, otherwise it's set the amp, make sure the mic's in the right position, and I'm a little picky about that. And then, amps downtown never sound good in my ears. Now, when I talk about this, my main experiences doing these things are on the road, and they are in Nashville on Broadway. You can have amazing tone and all that, but if you're on Broadway and you're doing 4 gigs in a day, I'm more worried about my back. I'm very lucky that the guitar I've built turned out so fantastic. And that neck is my favorite neck I've ever played, and like that's the first one I made. Every ingredient just turned out correct, and it's so worn in now. It's gorgeous to play. It's absolutely unreal. Thing is, my guitar weighs 5 pounds. It's HSS, and it can split perfectly and sound like a telly. It can do everything. Now, I used to bring the Axe Effects, but even that's a little bigger. And I've just been forcing myself to use less and less and less and less, and just realizing that with my pedal board and my Axe Effects, I kept turning on the same 3 settings. So now I've got the HX Stomp going into the 2 stereo Tone X's with a Chase Bliss analog Man Brothers, the king of tone, and a Rockbox Boiling Point, if you remember those, the old swirled box flat EQ tube screamer. But I think I'm going to replace that with the JHS Andy Timmons Plus. So if anyone's tried that, let me know. Just so I have a kind of lead tone, a bit more set up. The thing is, I rock up and the sound guy's used to the Axe Effects, and we worked really hard to get that. Like, he'll bet, hey man, tone's great, but like for front of house, I need this. And, hey man, it could do this and this. And he owns one as well, so we knew it, But now it's like, man, I plugged this in and he was like, dude, that sounds really good. That's nearly there. The only thing I need to do is chop off the high end or fix my output a little bit. Maybe there was some artifacts in the high end. Maybe I'll put a cut at the end of my HX Stomp, a low and high cut. Maybe that'll be the trick. Cut it, like say 70 for the flub or 100 for the flub, and then maybe around 10 to get rid of the artifacts. Sneaky lane change, done, baby. It's the perennial question. Modeling will never be over. I have a custom Benson amp on the way, courtesy of my friend Chris Benson, because I built him a guitar. We did a nice little trade. If you watch the Mixwave Benson plugin videos, you'll see the beautiful red guitar with the huge pickups. And nothing will beat a tube amp. But when I'm in a work mindset, it's also like, man, I'm doing all these gigs, there's people down here with beers. I'd rather someone breaks my HX Stomp and my pedal board than my tube amp. And I've heard my buddy, someone spilled beer on a set of stairs, and he's got a 64 Vibrolux, he was carrying it down those stairs, and he dropped the amp, and like a couple of tubes broke, pilot light broke, and he was just like, that's it, going direct. Now he's got the Kemper Stage, the player, like the little one. I can't make that work for me because it has that weird mid-forward thing that I can't unhear it now I've heard it. But he makes it work like a charm. And he gets really good tones. He has this really great kind of early 90s DI tone. Speaking of, I recently got gifted a Mo West preamp, which is the same preamp Brent Mason used in the 90s on like Don't Rock the Jukebox. So I texted Brent about it. It's funny because I'm talking about going direct as directed. Brent went direct in the 90s. It's Brent Mason, the greatest guitarist in Nashville. And it's kind of like, that's an objective thing, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, no one has changed the landscape of guitar as heavy as he has in this town in forever. Brent is 90s country, and a lot of that 2000s, and like, you've got to have a bit of Brent in you, and dude, he's the nicest guy in the world. I got to sit next to him at a session. It was my first session in town. No, it was my second session. My first was at County Q, sitting in JT Corenfoss's old chair, using his old headphones with his old music stand. Oh, that was scary. JT's my hero. But when I worked with Brent, I had my old pedal board, I had a little direct thing, and he goes, oh, you got one of them direct boxes? I used to use those. And I was like, what? And I realized direct's been a thing for as long as we can remember, you know what I mean? Especially the 80s, the rack stuff. But I feel like there's a different look and approach to it now. And I wonder sometimes if it's psychosomatic, like, the visual of the amp is huge, obviously. But there is a thing to the feel for the player, but no one in the crowd can tell. You know what I mean? Luke Combs' gang are all on quad cortexes. They all sound great, you know what I mean? It's just finding what works for you. But this is an interesting discussion. How do you feel about running direct? Are you happy to run direct? Are you anti-direct? You know, when's the last time I used my Plexi on a gig? A few weeks ago. I still do it. I have an attenuator. I still bring it. I do it when I can, and I bring my 112, or I have a 210 by Sam Hill that sounds really, really good. He's gonna sneakily build me his version of my Mesa 112, and I have an old first year EVM 12L waiting to go in it. Oh, I have so many speakers. If you're local in Nashville, I'm probably gonna sell a few. I got an original clean, not reconed 59 PR 10 and 12N, so the best tweed speaker I've made, in my opinion. I got a Celestian Gold. I got some old EVs. I have an old greenback, but I'd rather not sell that because that's my dream speaker. Anyway, I'm looking for coffee can, white coffee can, SRO EVs. I'm always looking for old greenbacks. I'd love to try a creamback. You know, I'm talking about direct, and now I'm talking about speakers. Man, here's the thing. I think when you get a good IR, and if you use in-ears, it's really there. Because I've noticed that when I use in-ears with this setup, it's there. But on Saturday night, I did a gig with it not using ears, and I didn't have enough guitar in my monitor without it blasting everyone. And I just kind of was like, oh man, like, I just need more, you know, like, and I wasn't there with it. You're allowed to go around people. I don't know if this cat in front of me knows that. Oh well, driving in Nashville is an interesting experience. But look, here's the thing. Is the amp dead? Most major acts are running direct. Is it James Valentine? Is it Maroon 5? He's a Berkeley boy. He has a very nice signature guitar. He's a very nice player actually, but he swapped 12 amps or something for like an Axe FX 3. George Pahone of the Black Eyed Peas and shown in Cairo Knife Fight. Dude, he uses like 12 amps at a time. Black Eyed Peas, Axe FX, happy. It's very interesting. A lot of times it's an ease of use, but also it's a consistent thing. Tubes sound different day to day, and different tubes sound different. Amps change, amps, you know, component drift, all that blah, blah, blah. But direct will always sound the same. But do we think direct's going to get to the point where it's there? Like you truly can't tell? That's what I wonder. I think in the high gain world, we're probably pretty close, if not already there. The clean world is where it's questionable, but oh, Waffle House. I want Waffle House. No, I'm about to take the wife, about to drive 8 hours, going on holidays for a couple days, then drive back. Couple days to do FA. Fuck all. It's a family saying in mind. Well, what are you up to today? A little bit of FA. Just a little bit of FA. Gonna do it. Hey, what are you doing? Some FA. A little bit of fuck all. How silly. All right. I'm going to hop off and start my holiday. I'm going to get Buc-ee's and I'm going to go to town on it. I'm coming back. I have 2 sessions on Friday, I think. Got to confirm the second one, then a gig. And then I have 3 gigs Saturday, and then I'm teaching all Sunday. And if you're interested in the lesson, I think I have 1 or 2 slots open. Just drop a comment if you're interested, or message me on Instagram, Real Rucaster, or my personal is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And hey, look, I just want to thank everyone for the consistent support and interaction and comments. This channel is just a dude who lives in Nashville trying to make it and figure out life. And I don't know what I want to be. I want to do it all. I want to build guitars. I want to play guitar. You know, my idol I'm really obsessed with right now is Oz Noy. I want to play as good as Oz, which is an impossible feat because he's God. I want to play stadiums. I want to do everything. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I've started work on my album. That's some other fun news. I'll have to talk more about that another day. But we're doing some stuff. And I just got a text from the beautiful Kevin William Shuck. Kevin, if you see the end of this video, you're getting mentioned. Thank you for always looking after me and being so good to me. I love you. And I wish I had your hair. All right, I'm off, y'all. Peace.